So Expect More Arizona, as you heard, has gone from a seedling of an idea to the beginning of a statewide movement. Over the past 3 years, we've reached more than 200,000 students with our college and career planning tools, mobilized 1,000 volunteers in the 2010 elections, and presented to 12,000 individuals who signed up to get involved, and launched a statewide parent outreach campaign and social media campaign that has thousands of Facebook and Twitter followers. Our pro-education message has now been shared over 100 million times statewide. We are so heartened by the data that tells us the needle has moved, and due to the efforts of all of you here and to so many more, we've elevated education as the top priority. Arizonans are concerned. They are listening. And yet, as Paul said in the beginning, we believe that Expect More Arizona's true impact still lies ahead. Our vision resonates with many of yours. We want Arizona education to be the best in the nation. We want all children growing up in Arizona to be ready to thrive in college, in career, and in life. So what would it actually take for Arizona education to be the best in the nation? Well, to help us with some perspective, I want to cite our state superintendent, Huppenthal, who, as you all know, is excellent with data and research. When looking at our state's 2011 NAEP math and reading scores, which is the most illuminating test for national comparison, as you heard from Shelley, we've made progress from 2009. In fact, we are the third highest ranking state in terms of improvement. This is cause for celebration. And yet, because of where we are starting from, if we continued our growth at this rate, it would take 25 years to catch up to where Massachusetts is today. To become the best in the nation faster than that, we would actually need to be the #1 ranked state in the country in growth on NAEP scores, and #1 by a lot for several years in a row. Jerry Colangelo and Shelley Eskew made the next point so well. Knowing what the future holds and the need for America to strengthen its competitive edge in a global economy, and knowing that success rests upon our ability to build a highly skilled and knowledgeable citizenry, not only should we aim to be the best in the country, but over the longer term, we need to aim to be the best in the world. So now imagine what it would take for our students to catch up to the best in the world, to Shanghai, to Singapore, and to Finland. This means that Arizona needs to make not just incremental improvement, but dramatic improvements in our students' academic outcomes year after year to be the best in the nation, and beyond that, to be a world-class leader in education. It's daunting, but this data really helps us to face up to the challenge that lies before us so that we may take it on. From the standpoint of running a company in a district, we know that the kind of dramatic improvement that I'm talking about often takes organizational culture change. This is a room of incredibly successful world-class leaders. So during times when there have been great challenges ahead, what has it taken to build a culture of excellence in your organization? A culture where team members embrace the changes necessary, confront challenges head-on, acknowledge their weaknesses, and work hard to continuously improve. We know that creating the kind of culture that leads to bold and dramatic improvement comes down to leadership, to aligning everyone at every level to a shared vision, and to deeply investing in equipping the right people to make the hard changes necessary. It takes high team morale, camaraderie, and trust. Similarly, world-class performance in Arizona will also take a culture change. World-class excellence will only come from our education system when the hearts and minds of Arizonans are rooted firmly in a shared vision and committed to the goals of our best-laid plans, and when we commit to developing the human capital and building the capacity necessary to attain excellence. Without this shared commitment, the best-laid plans and strategies may have a good impact, but they will likely not result in the dramatic improvements for which we aim. This is the essence of Expect More Arizona's mission, to create a cultural change, capturing the hearts and minds of Arizonans so that our state is infused with a culture of excellence that leads to the bold changes needed to become a world-class leader. We believe that Arizona education will be world-class when many more of our students achieve on par with the best in the world, when the average student is the best in the country, when students who are impacted by the achievement gap truly have every opportunity to succeed, when Arizona's parents, students, educators, and voters embrace a culture of rigor and excellence, and when Arizona's investments in education are comparably productive with the most cost-effective states in the country. We will succeed only through our ability to build aligned leadership and public trust, and only through the collective efforts of all of us. Our hope is that Expect More Arizona's efforts will reinforce and support the success of the strong statewide plans that Arizona has in place, spanning the entire birth through career continuum, from First Things First to Arizona Ready to the Department of Education's plan, Getting Ahead, and to the Board of Regents Enterprise Plan. All of these plans are inspiring, they are well-led, and they are mutually reinforcing. Truly, the business community has been the greatest champion of the idea that together all of them can succeed. We thank you for your leadership and your encouragement toward collaboration. As we know, the road will be fraught with challenges and dangers to which we are all susceptible: the temptation to hop on the next silver bullet train, the temptation to make quick fixes that don't last, the temptation to let fear of failure, lack of resources, or politics hold us back from doing what we can. But I believe that our statewide community is incredibly strong, and strong, persistent leadership will prevail. As a community of leaders in this room, I challenge all of us to be the leaders that the next generation needs to make sure that our efforts today result in transformational change for the education that our students will receive and for the future Arizona that they will know. If we commit to aligning our efforts, holding our expectations high, investing in and equipping world-class educators, allocating resources to education productively, acting with urgency, hope, and with a long-term view, Arizona's current and future students will lead the world. So it's the holidays, and so as you all know, there's the story of the three wise men. Well, in my life, I've grown up always with my own version of the three wise men, because Chinese people don't celebrate Christmas. And they're the three Chinese philosophers who have laid a cultural foundation that is instructive as we contemplate the challenge of culture change that lies ahead for us. The first is Confucius, the bedrock of the Chinese culture, who as a teacher himself virtually immortalized the profession of teaching as the most honorable path. This is why the best and brightest in China often want to teach. The second is Lao Tzu, who said, "A leader is best when people barely know he exists. And when his work is done, his aim fulfilled, they will say, 'We did it ourselves.'" Our plans will succeed only when people embody the ideals as their own passions and aspirations. The third is my father, who is an internationally recognized engineer, and really his father, my yeye, who lost everything in the communist revolution. And they say, 知识是权利，别人绝对拿不走. Which means knowledge is power. It is the only thing that no one can take away from you. Education has to be valued as the top priority in our homes and by our students. We have to be willing to work very hard for it and to believe that education is the key to lifting the quality of life for everyone. It's taken countries like China and Singapore anywhere from 30 to 100 years to transform their education systems and attain the world-class results they have today. Comparatively, we are starting in a good place. And as you can see from examples around the world, transformation is possible, and it will happen sooner if Arizonans can come together. So in the coming weeks, we hope to connect with as many of you as possible and explore how our efforts can align. And in the meantime, we invite you to visit our website to learn more about our work, and I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you for your leadership, your time, and happy holidays.